It is now time to say goodbye to Dobby. So sadly, this will be the last episode featuring Dobby. And even though we are in early May, I can tell you right now, it is Baltic. The wind chill isn't helping either, so let's get inside and talk about it. Oh, it is blustery out there. So I've had Dobby for 3 going on 4 years now, and when I got him, the intention was to have a music studio on wheels. But somewhere down the line, I seemed to fall into this sponsorship QVC channel kind of place, which is why I started down the road for the adventures. But hand on heart, I have to say that converting Dobby into a micro campervan has probably been one of the best experiences I've ever had, because I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know anything about cars, and there were a few moments where I was about to call it off and I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I did make the decision early on that I wanted to film it, because when I was looking up on YouTube, there were maybe 2, maybe 3 videos showing the conversion process, but it was more time-lapsed and just rushed through it, so you couldn't really see more in depth than what the person was doing, kind of thing. So for me, I wanted to do it from start to finish without any of the expensive flashy tools, without any skill, and without any high-end workshops. And I would say also just to show the mistakes that I made along the way, because I made a lot of them. For the 3 or 4 years that I've had Dobby, we've travelled to beautiful places. I ticked off bucket list destinations like the North Coast 500, the Isle of Skye, the Old Manor Store, dinosaur footprints. Come on. I saw the difference between Loch Lomond and Loch Ness. But through Dobby, I've paddleboarded for the first time. I'm back out swimming in lochs in the oceans again. Through YouTube and through Dobby, I've also found a great mate in Rick and his van. We went away and done a road trip in Wales. We just finished the Scotland road trip, and then later in the year I'll be going down to his neck of the woods to do the England road trip. So I think after that we need to do an Ireland one. And I have also been fortunate enough to be sponsored by companies for power, as well as other products that have just made Dobby a lot more comfortable. Although I will admit, some products may have pushed the envelope of what you can actually put in a micro camper. It'll be interesting to see what it's like in a bigger camper, but in a micro camper, there's no way I could have all these products in here. You just wouldn't be able to move. I've been out more times in the past 3 or 4 years in Dobby, exploring, going on adventures, than I did in the 10 years prior to having Dobby. This for me is the ideal setup where you pick a destination and you go to it, but in this van all your needs are met. You've got power, you've got a toilet, you've got a fridge, you've got a sleeping bag, you've got a diesel heater. Everything is in this one van for me to feel like I'm back home. So at this point in the video, I know you're watching and you're probably saying, well, if Dobby provides all of that, why are you selling them? And that is a good question. In short, I basically want to get back to the original concept of why I built Dobby in the first place. And top of that list is I want a static music studio within the van, where I can open the door, turn the power on, and just make music. Be creative and just get lost in the moment. I want the setup to be, whether it's morning, noon or night, I can do music at any point of the day without worrying about having to pull a bed out, having to make a bed, having to unfold a bed. The bed is static, but I can get out and do music. The other reason is also the fact I'm struggling to fit anything else in Dobby. And when I say I'm struggling to fit anything else in, I mean from sponsors. I can't just keep rearranging Dobby just to accommodate sponsors. If I'm going to do another rearrangement, it's for the music studio. But as Dobby is just now, Dobby is ideal for anybody looking to get off-grid for however long they want, either with their partner or even with a dog. But for my plans moving forward, unfortunately, I need to upsize. So I'm not going to beat about the bush and leave you in anticipation. Maybe a wee bit of anticipation, but yes, I have purchased a new van. I don't like saying that while I'm sitting in Dobby. I feel like I'm cheating on him. That's like literally sleeping with your partner, but then telling them you're sleeping with somebody else during it. I'm not going to show you the new van because this episode's about Dobby, so I'm trying to be respectful. But having said that, I will give you a few wee sneak details. So it's a medium height. I want to say it's long wheelbase, but I think it's extra long wheelbase because when I was reversing it, it felt like I was backing up a bus. Everything I said before about wanting a static music studio, a static bed, a kitchen, and even its own toilet space, all of that will be possible in this new van. We can't stand in it, but if I'm being honest, I wanted the extra length rather than the height to be able to stand up. And it isn't because I don't care about being able to stand up in a van, it's just because it makes it a lot easier for getting into more places that are more height restricted. We can still sneak in a bit. But I think one of the bigger reasons was so that I could still use my mechanic that's worked on Dobby for the past 3 or 4 years. Trying to find a reliable mechanic is just as stressful and anxiety inducing as trying to find a van. I have been dying to show you guys it with pictures and all the rest of it, but again, I'm trying to keep the timeline organised because I don't want to start showing a new van and then, you know, the Scotland trip's still going and stuff, so it's hard to try and bite my tongue. So if you have been watching the Scotland trip, you'll see at the start the check engine light was coming on every time I hit over 50 mile an hour. That's now been fixed, and it was literally just, I think it was 2 spark plugs weren't seated properly, so they've now been seated and Dobby's been fine ever since, and I was doing 60 miles an hour all the way here. It felt weird at first because I've mostly been driving at 50. So after this trip to Mennock Pass, Dobby will be going up for sale, and with the sale I think I'm going to just include everything that's in Dobby. So the total head unit, the fridge, the diesel heater, the swivel table, the awning, the roof box, and I think I'm also going to toss in a power station as well for the buyer. But because the fuse board is already there and it's hooked into the lights and the fridge, if the buyer doesn't want to use a power station, they can just plug in a lithium battery and they'll be up and ready to go. And when I look back to how Dobby looked before I even built anything to what it looks like now and the previous build, it just blows me away. If you had told me leading up to me getting Dobby that I would have been able to do something like this, I wouldn't have believed you. In a nutshell, Dobby revitalised me. Get a grip of yourself, son. Since it is my last night in Dobby, I think I'm just going to keep it for myself and not film it. This is Dobby's farewell episode. I appreciate every single one of you guys commenting, supporting the channel, supporting Dobby, especially when he wasn't well on the Scotland trip. The support's been amazing. I know if Dobby could talk, he would appreciate it as well. But like everything else in life, we need to enjoy the moments that we're in and keep moving forward. So if you did go and enjoy the video, guys, let me know your comments about Dobby. Are you going to miss him? And if you haven't already, why not get subscribed and hit that bell notification so you're kept up to date and can see what we've upgraded to from Dobby. So guys, RobnDob signing off for the very last time. Peace. Hi, how's it going, guys? So welcome to the channel, and like the title says, we're going to turn this Fiat Doblo into a camper van.